Hi, my name is Melissa Daniels and I have Strabismus, and this channel is all about my journey from going from eyes that were really doing their own thing to having eyes that work together and are straight. And it hasn't been this perfect journey. It's still in the process, right? Like, I haven't just achieved this 10 out of 10 vision. I'm still working on it. And every year I set goals. I love goals, even though I maybe don't stick with them all year round. Like, I'm the first person to know that I have to regroup like multiple times a year, but I love the new year because it's an obvious time for a fresh start. So wanted to give you guys some ideas today on the goals that you could establish if you have strabismus or lazy eye that would maybe help you work towards going away from that and maybe learning how to use your eyes together, or learning how to deal with having strabismus and making it more positive in your life. So that's what this video is going to be all about. Be sure to go over to learn.strabismus solutions for the different resources that I have. There's free downloads. You can sign up for a Zoom call with me. You can purchase my Mastering Peripheral course, which is amazing. So be sure to go check that out. All right, let's jump into some different categories that you can visit if you are wanting to improve different parts of your life. So we're going to talk about different exercises that you can do. We're going to talk about different ways you can change your diet to help your vision. We're going to talk about emotional and mental health that's related to having a lazy eye or strabismus, whatever you want to call it. And then last, I'm going to go into actually dealing with like the physical side of having Eyeturn. And of course, we're just scratching the surface. I could go on and do an entire video about each one of these topics and subcategories. And so a lot of these things you can find information on my website, strabismussolutions.com. You can find other videos on this YouTube channel. So if you want to dive deeper into one of these topics, that is available. But this is just going to be the surface. So first, let's talk about some foundational eye exercises that you can incorporate into your daily routine. Because if you know James Clear and Atomic Habits, one of the best ways to create a new habit or to reach a new goal is to incorporate it into something that you're already doing. So a couple ideas. One is every night when you're about to fall asleep, do some closed eye stretches. And then what that means is that your eyes are closed, you're laying on your pillow, but while they're closed, you're actually moving your eyes. So your eyes are closed and you're moving your eyes from the left to the right, except for not with your head. Left, right, up, down, all in circles, right? And so what is this doing? If your eyes are closed, you don't have a target, right? Your eyes want to follow moving targets. But once your eyes are closed, you don't have that visual driving it. And so it is actually a little bit harder, and it helps you be a little bit more in tune with those eye muscles and what it actually feels like. If you're really struggling, you could actually put your fingers on your eyelids and you can feel the movement of your eyes. You notice how my mouth is doing weird stuff? If I was doing that, I'm guessing when I go back and edit this video, my eyes were doing some crazy stuff. I am really tired. It is actually New Year's Day today when I'm recording this, and I've been eating terrible for a week. I've been sleeping terrible, and I haven't done any vision therapy, and my eyes are just kind of all over the place. So you're just seeing me I'm not trying to hide anything here. This is just me on a day after a wild week. Okay, so that's one idea. While you're trying to fall asleep, close your eyes, move your eyes around, do some eye stretches. Another idea is that if you are driving and you are the passenger or you hit a red light or something like that, don't close your eyes, especially if you're driving. Maybe don't do this if you're driving, but just take your finger and move it to the sides, up, down, and around, right? Just do some quick eye stretching, right? If your eyes tend to turn in like mine, you want to focus on stretching these muscles out, and you can do one eye at a time. You can try to do both, whatever. If your eyes go out, then you're going to want to stretch it on the inside, right? And you of course want to have good mobility and the ability to track in all directions, but focus on stretching out that eye turn, right? Another great exercise to do is when you're brushing your teeth, and I know I've talked about this in videos before, But when you're looking into a mirror, make that an eye exercise. And how you can do that is, instead of thinking of looking at the mirror like you're floating on the mirror, the reflection is sitting on the mirror, which is how a lot of people with strabismus view it. Actually view yourself as behind or inside of the mirror. The same distance from the mirror that your physical self is should be the same distance that it is to your reflection. This can be really tricky. I have a lot of different techniques and tricks that you can learn to see that space and to really, and I call it peripheral, but it's so much more than that in my Mastering Peripheral course. But just while you're brushing your teeth, doing those things, that picturing the space between you and your reflection, or you in the mirror, and seeing that different space, picturing the space behind you, all of that, just while brushing your teeth, right? Now, I'm not saying you need to do all of these, but is there a way that you can incorporate one of those 3 ideas into your daily life, right? Like, that's what you need to do, is start getting some healthier vision habits. Okay, next let's talk about diet. New Year's resolutions lots of times are going to focus around diet. Let's make sure you're choosing options that are good for your vision. So I have a whole article about this on the website. I will link it in the description. Excuse me. But the idea is just like eat really healthy and your eyes will do better. That's a simple. You can get the Eating for Stereopsis guide that kind of gives a little bit more detail. That's free, a free download at learn.strabismussolutions.com. But the idea is eat a lot of kale and like dark leafy greens, blueberries, chicken, fish, what other things? Beans, like all the things that you know are good for you. And sugar is not the greatest, but for me, huge focus on dark leafy greens, getting that salad, that makes one of the biggest differences, and cutting back on sugar. So how do you incorporate that? Incorporate something like that into your goals. And when you are doing it with the thought process, this is helping my vision, it's more than just, okay, I'm losing weight or whatever. It's like, no, I am getting like my most epic and like perfect vision possible. So there's another one, is working on the food. Okay, next, this one deserves its own category, and that is the emotional and mental health aspect of having strabismus. So many of us struggle with so many different parts of strabismus, right? We struggle maybe with having confidence in new situations, which, keep an eye out. The Confidence with Strabismus course should be coming out here in the next few weeks. So keep an eye out for that. That's going to be really helpful. But a lot of us struggle with confidence, struggle with acceptance. Some of us are holding grudges against what happened in our past, people who were rude, or parents who didn't maybe do what we thought they should have done. And right, there's like all this, there's a lot more to it than just eyes that aren't pointing straight. And you can definitely incorporate some mental health into your life that can really help with all of that. So one idea is you could have a gratitude journal. A lot of times we get stuck in that victim mode where we're like, oh, everything is happening to me and my life is really sad. And I get it, I've been there, but also it's not really a place I want to stay. And one thing that really helps is a gratitude journal and there's a million different ways of doing this. I'm not going to say like, oh, you have to do it this way or that way. You can write one thing you're grateful for every night. You can write 100 things that you love about yourself or you love about your life, right? There's a lot of different ways, but the idea is to draw attention to the things that you're grateful for, that you kind of can recognize like, wow, I have a pretty good life. Even though I've got this eye stuff going on, it's going to be okay. Like, we've got a lot of other things worth living for. It's not everything. So gratitude journal, huge piece of emotional mental health. Another one, read a book, right? There's so many different books, amazing books about all of this, right? Like if there's probably like hundreds and hundreds of books. One of my favorites is Loving What Is by Byron Katie. It's so good, especially for those of us who want to fight against our reality, who are like, this isn't how it should be, and people should treat me differently, and this should have happened, right? If you find yourself doing a lot of shoulds in your life about yourself and others, this book could really probably help you a lot. It kind of helps you accept your reality and that's just what it is, and then go from there. Now, if you want to work with me, I do offer coaching over Zoom. So I have a 6-week coaching program that you can join that can help. The main focus is usually about confidence, but if there's another aspect that you want to focus on, we can definitely do that. That is a really great way to kickstart your year and just really invest in your emotional and mental health surrounding strabismus, especially if you're really struggling. I'd love to help you with that. And lastly, let's talk about the physical side of strabismus, right? Because we've got these eyes that, are causing problems. And yeah, we can try to think better about our situation and all of that. But in the end, we actually want to have our eyes look normal and work well and be able to just function in society normally, right? So here's a couple ideas. 1, schedule an appointment with your local developmental optometrist that can help you with vision therapy. I have lots of resources for that. If you go to learn.strabismussolutions.com is a great place to go for that. You can also find it at strabismussolutions.com/findvt, I think. Anyways, you can fill out the form. I'll send you recommendations for an optometrist. So that's an option. It's free. Another option is schedule with your local eye surgeon, right? Start talking to these medical professionals. I like to schedule with all of them and get their opinions on what can we do to help with what's happening. Every person's a little bit different. They're going to need maybe a different direction, but schedule those appointments. That could be a goal that you set, right? Like, okay, I'm going to schedule it. I'm going to go. I'm going to figure this out. I'm going to make it work with my insurance. Great place to start. If you're already in therapy, what can you do to make it more effective, right? What kind of goal can you set? Maybe it's about nutrition. Maybe it's changing your home exercises to the morning instead of night so that they're more effective and actually get done. Maybe it's, going back and doing like 10 sessions and going all in on your home exercises or trying a new program, right? So what can you do to take it to the next level above and beyond what you're already doing? Of course, everyone loves the disguising your lazy eye tricks, right? If your eyes are going different directions, I have some great resources for how to make that less obvious in pictures and things like that. So I'll link the article for that below, but learn how to do that. That can give you a lot of confidence to physically kind of disguise it a little bit so that you're not so stressed about it all the time. And then last, of course, take the Mastering Peripheral course. Okay, I know I've mentioned it a couple times in this video, but I'm telling you, it will make such a big difference for you. It will help you see space in a different way, see the world in a different way, really help you engage both eyes and get to the point where you are bridging that gap between 2D and 3D vision. It's amazing, if I do say so myself. Highly recommend it. So those are just some ideas. I wanted to get your brain going on New Year's resolutions so that as you're setting these new goals, that you're not just thinking, okay, I've got my vision over here and then the rest of my life. It's like, how can you merge those together? Because then it becomes a lot more attainable, right? While you're brushing your teeth, you're thinking about space. While you're driving, you're practicing getting your eyes more flexible, right? Like if you can make these part of your daily life, it's going to make things so much better. So there you have it. There are some ideas for goals if you have strabismus or lazy eye. And let me know in the comments if you have other goals that you've set. And I will try to link everything I talked about in this description. And we will see you in the next video.